Diplomat Kang stood nervous on the observation deck. His scaled hands shook a little as the human ship came closer to the Confederate diplomatic station. As the chief representative of the Galactic Confederacy, Kang had seen 23 first meetings with new species, but these humans made him feel uneasy. "They look smaller than I thought," said his assistant Bora, who stood beside him. "Size doesn't matter much," Kang said. "What worries me is their past." The Confederate researchers had been watching human broadcasts for many years. Earth had seen over 15,000 wars in their written history. No other species in the galaxy had lived through so much fighting against themselves. The human ship moved slowly into the docking bay. It was sleek and gray, with red and blue markings that showed it came from what humans called the United Earth Alliance. Kang noted how the ship's design seemed both beautiful and deadly at the same time. "Remember," Kang told his team, "show no fear. Humans can sense weakness like predators." When the airlock opened, Kang was surprised to see the humans wearing simple clothes instead of the military uniforms he expected. Commander Park, the human leader, stepped forward first. She was shorter than Kang by a full head, with dark hair tied back and a friendly smile that didn't match what Kang knew about her species. "On behalf of Earth, I thank you for this historic meeting," Commander Park said, bowing slightly. Her translator device made her words clear to all the aliens present. The meeting went better than Kang had feared. The humans were polite, smart, and seemed eager to join the larger galactic community. They talked about peace, working together and sharing cultures. Commander Park even brought gifts, artwork, music recordings, and something called chocolate that many of the Confederate species found delicious. "We hope this marks the beginning of a lasting friendship," Commander Park said during the formal dinner. "Earth has much to learn from the Confederacy." Kang noticed how the other Confederate diplomats seemed charmed by the humans. Even Bora was laughing at a story one of the human officers was telling. Only Kang kept his distance, watching carefully. The next day, Commander Park invited Kang and his team to tour the human ship. As they walked through the clean hallways, Kang saw things the others missed. Behind the friendly meeting rooms and comfortable living spaces, nearly half the ship was made for war. Weapon systems were hidden behind smooth panels. Crew members who looked like scientists could quickly become soldiers. "And this is our peace garden," Commander Park said, showing them a room with plants from Earth. "Our crew comes here to relax and remember what we're working for." Kang touched a red flower gently. "Beautiful. Do all human ships have such places?" "Most do now," Commander Park said. "It hasn't always been our way, but we're learning." Later, when a young human officer proudly showed them the ship's defense systems, Kang realized the truth. What humans called defensive could destroy a small moon. The ship they called Diplomatic had more weapons than some Confederate war fleets. That night, alone in his quarters, Kang recorded a private message to the Confederate High Council. His voice was low and serious as he spoke. "These humans are not what they seem. They talk of peace, but they prepare for war in everything they do. They have lived through more conflicts than any species we know. Their planet has seen over 15,000 wars, yet they still exist, still grow stronger. They didn't survive despite their wars. They evolved because of them. In their natural world, humans became the top hunters, not because they were strongest or fastest, but because they mastered organized violence. They made tools to kill, then better tools, then machines, then world-ending weapons. And now they want to join us with their smiles and gifts, while their diplomatic ship carries enough firepower to destroy a moon. I fear we are not meeting new friends. We are meeting the gods of war themselves dressed as diplomats. The humans are coming to the stars, and the stars are not ready." Kang ended the recording and looked out his window at the human ship. Lights glowed softly from its windows. It looked peaceful. But Kang knew better. The first contact had gone well. Too well. The real challenge would be understanding what humans truly were before it was too late. The city of New Seoul gleamed in the morning sun as Kang stepped off the shuttle. 6 months had passed since his first meeting with humans, and now he stood on Earth itself. Tall buildings reached toward the sky, and flying vehicles moved between them like busy insects. "Welcome to Earth, Ambassador Kang," said Director Yoon, a human with a friendly smile and calm eyes. "We hope your cultural exchange team finds our world interesting." Kang bowed slightly. His scaled skin felt dry in Earth's air, but the breathing mask helped. Behind him, 5 other Confederate representatives followed, including his trusted analyst, Jun. "We are honored to learn about human culture," Kang said, though his real mission was to understand these strange creatures better. The Confederate High Council had taken his warnings seriously. They needed to know if humans were a threat. Their first week on Earth surprised Kang. Humans lived in peace now, with no wars between their nations for nearly 50 years. Their cities were clean, and their people seemed happy. Children played in parks. Old people sat in gardens. It all looked so normal. But on the 8th day, June came to Kang's room looking worried. "Ambassador, please look at these findings," June said, showing Kang a data pad. "This can't be correct. 80% of human entertainment involves conflict or fighting." Kang took the pad and studied it. "Explain." "I've analyzed their popular entertainment, what they call movies, games, and sports. Almost all of it shows fighting, war, or competition. Even their children watch these things." That evening, Director Yoon took them to what humans called a movie theater. The room was dark, and the screen showed huge moving pictures. Kang watched with growing concern as humans in the story fought each other with weapons. The audience around him seemed excited, even happy at the violence. "This is entertainment," Kang whispered to Yoon. "One of our most popular films," Yoon said proudly. "The hero saves his family and his country." The next day, they visited a human home where children played with small figures of soldiers. In another room, a teenager moved controls while looking at a screen, directing a battle in what Yoon called a video game. "Your young practice war as play?" Kang asked. "It's just games," Yoon said. "Not real." At a diplomatic dinner that night, Kang noticed 2 elderly humans sitting at a table with a board between them. Small pieces moved across black and white squares. "What is this game?" Kang asked, moving closer. "Chess," said one of the players. "Would you like to learn? It's quite relaxing." Kang watched as they explained the rules. Each piece moved differently. Some were more powerful than others. The goal was to trap the enemy leader. "This is a war game," Kang said suddenly. "Well, yes," said Director Yoon, who had joined them. "It's based on ancient battlefield tactics. Many humans play it to relax or sharpen their minds. Your species is fascinating," Kang said carefully. "You've achieved peace among your nations, yet you constantly rehearse for war in your games and stories." Yoon smiled gently. "Old habits, Ambassador. We've had to fight for everything we've achieved. Perhaps that's why we don't forget how." The most disturbing event came near the end of their visit. Director Yoon took them to what humans called a memorial ceremony. Kang stood in a large space with many humans dressed in dark clothes. Stone markers filled the ground around them, and soldiers in uniform stood very still, holding weapons. "What is this place?" Kang asked quietly. "We honor our fallen warriors here," Yoon explained. "Those who died protecting others." Kang watched with growing horror as humans placed flowers by the stone markers. Some cried, others stood tall and proud. Young humans in uniforms played sad music on instruments. "They died in your wars?" June whispered. "Yes," Yoon said. "And we remember them. We always remember." That night, Kang recorded a new message for the Confederate Council. His voice was low and serious as he spoke in his room. "They don't just accept warfare," he said, looking at the city lights outside his window. "They've made it part of their deepest beliefs. They tell stories about it. They play games about it. They remember their dead warriors like holy figures. Even in peace, they keep war alive in their minds. Their children learn battle before they can speak properly. Their old ones play war games for fun. They cry for dead warriors from centuries, ago. I now understand why humans are so dangerous. War isn't just something they do, it's something they are. Kang looked at a small chess piece the human had given him. A knight, they called it. A warrior piece that moved in strange, unexpected ways, just like humans themselves. The alarm woke Kang from deep sleep. Red lights flashed across his quarters on the Confederate observation station. He jumped up and rushed to the command center, his scaled feet slapping against the cold floor. "What's happening?" he asked as he entered the room. Bora turned to him, her eyes wide. "The Moro have attacked a human colony." On the main screen, Kang saw it. The planet Haven was a small human settlement near Moro space. Now ships with Moro markings surrounded it. Reports showed bombs falling on the main city. "This is madness," Kang said. "Why would they attack?" "A radical group," said the station commander. "They claim humans have no right to settle so close to their space." Kang knew about the Moro. Like most Confederate species, they avoided war whenever possible. They would raid, make a point, then expect the other side to give up the disputed area. It had worked with other species for centuries. "They don't understand. Humans," Kang said quietly. Within 1 hour, 3 human battle fleets arrived at Haven. Kang had never seen ships move so fast. The Confederate observers watched in silence as human commanders sent one simple message to the Moro ships: "Leave, now or be destroyed." The Moro leader responded as expected, offering to discuss terms. He suggested humans could keep part of the colony if they gave up the rest. The human admiral's reply was short: "You have 5 minutes to begin retreat." When the Moro ships didn't move, the humans attacked. Kang had studied human warfare, but seeing it was different. Their ships moved together like dancers, each one knowing exactly what to do. When the Moro tried new tactics, the humans adapted almost instantly. "They're not just defending," whispered Bora in disbelief. "They're systematically taking apart the entire Moro fleet." Ship after ship of the Moro force went dark or exploded. The Confederate observers watched in silence. Their own military experts had always said some of these human battle moves were impossible, yet there they were, happening before their eyes. "Send this footage to the High Council," Kang ordered. "They need to see this." But the real shock came when human ground forces landed on Haven. Kang watched through drone cameras as human soldiers pushed into areas where both human and alien civilians were trapped. The Moro had brought down a civilian hospital, and many were still inside. The human soldiers went straight toward danger. They carried alien children and elderly through fire. They used their own bodies to shield others from falling debris. When Moro troops fired at them, the humans became even more determined. One human soldier threw herself on top of a Moro child when a wall collapsed. She died, but the child lived. Another human fought off 3 Moro attackers while bleeding badly, just to give time for a group of civilians to escape. "This doesn't make sense," Bora said. "Why do they fight harder to save others than themselves?" Kang watched as a human medic treated wounded Moro civilians while under fire. "It's what makes them most dangerous," he said. "They believe some things are worth dying for." By the 3rd day, it was over. The Moro radical faction had been completely wiped out. Not one ship escaped. On the ground, every enemy fighter was either dead or captured. The human losses were heavy. Nearly 3,000 soldiers dead and many ships damaged. But they had saved over 50,000 civilians, both human and alien. When the human commander made her report, she called the operation a success because of this. Kang immediately sent an emergency transmission to the Confederate Council. His hands shook as he recorded, "The humans fight like nothing we've ever seen. They don't just win battles, they destroy any threat completely. Their coordination exceeds our best units. Their adaptation happens in minutes, not days or weeks. Most disturbing is how they protect others. They fight more fiercely to save alien children than to save themselves. Their willingness to die for others exceeds anything in our understanding of intelligent behavior. They measure victory differently from us. They accept losses that would make any Confederate species surrender immediately. 3,000 of their warriors died, yet they call this a success because civilians were saved. I must warn the Council. If humans ever see us as enemies, we would have no defense against them. They are not just skilled at war. They transform into something else when protecting those they consider innocent. They become forces of nature. Later, Kang stood alone by the viewing window, watching as human medical ships arrived to help survivors. Far below, human children were already playing again in areas their soldiers had secured, life returning so quickly after such violence. They accept losses no other species would tolerate, Kang whispered to himself, a new feeling growing inside him, not just fear now, but something else. A strange kind of respect. The Grand Council chamber of the Confederacy was the largest room Kang had ever seen. Today, all 27 member species had representatives present. The circular room buzzed, with worried talk. Everyone knew this emergency meeting was unusual. Kang stood at the center platform, feeling very small. His scaled hands shook slightly as he prepared his notes. Around him, beings of all shapes and sizes watched with different eyes, some with 6, some with none, some that saw heat instead of light. The soft blue glow from the ceiling lit their concerned faces. Ambassador Kang, you may begin, said High Elder Nim, the ancient leader of the council. Her long tentacles moved gently as she spoke. Kang took a deep breath. Esteemed representatives, I come before you with a confession and a warning. We have made a terrible mistake in how we understand humans. He activated the central projection system. Suddenly the air above them filled with images. Human soldiers carrying alien children from burning buildings on Haven, human ships performing impossible maneuvers during the Moro conflict, ancient paintings of human warriors from Earth's history. For 7,000 years, our Confederacy has believed that intelligent life naturally moves away from violence as it evolves, Kang said. We were wrong. A murmur went through the crowd. Some representatives shifted uncomfortably. Humans followed. A different path, Kang continued. While we evolved to avoid conflict, humans evolved to perfect it. Their entire history is written in war. For the next 3 hours, Kang showed them everything. He displayed human battle strategies from ancient times through modern space combat. He explained how humans had made more weapons in their short time, as a civilization, than the entire Confederacy had created in millennia. Look at their bodies, he said, showing an image of a human skeleton. These are not the bodies of peaceful plant eaters like most of us. These are the bodies of hunters who never stopped improving how they hunt. The council watched in growing silence as Kang displayed scenes from human entertainment, their war games, their battle sports, their movies about conflict. He showed them human memorial sites where they honored fallen warriors across centuries. Even their peaceful pursuits contain war, Kang explained. Their music has martial themes. Their greatest leaders are often former warriors. Their children play at battle before they can even speak properly. Representative Dury of the Tick-Tick spoke up, his voice clicking rapidly. But they seem peaceful now. They have not started wars with any Confederate species. Because they don't need to, Kang replied. They fight only when they believe they must. But when they fight... He paused, looking around the room. When humans decide to fight, they don't stop until they win completely or die trying. Kang played the recording from Haven, showing how human soldiers sacrificed themselves to save others. No Confederate species would do this, he said quietly. We value our own survival too much. Humans will die by the thousands if they believe their cause is just. The chamber had grown completely silent now. Even High Elder Nim leaned forward, her ancient eyes wide. I have studied humans for over a year, Kang said. I have been on their world. I have seen what they are capable of. And I must tell you now what I truly believe. He took a deep breath and spoke the words he knew would change everything. We're doomed. Humans are the gods of war. For 3 heartbeats, perfect silence filled the chamber. Then chaos erupted. We must contain them immediately, shouted the Vreen representative, his fur standing on end. No, we must ally with them before someone else does, countered Representative Sook of the Brill. Some smaller species began to leave their seats in panic. Security drones moved to keep order, as arguments broke out across the chamber. High Elder Nim tried to call for calm, but her voice was lost in the noise. Kang stood still in the center, watching what he had caused. On a nearby screen, he saw his own image being broadcast. His speech was going out live across Confederate space, and worse, he saw the human logo in the corner of the transmission. Somehow they were seeing this too. Ambassador, a young aide, rushed to his side. The humans are requesting immediate communication. They've seen everything. Kang felt his heart sink. What have I done? He whispered. Half the council wanted to build weapons for the first time in thousands of years. The other half wanted to give humans whatever they wanted to stay friendly. Security forces struggled. To keep order as species that had been peaceful for millennia, now argued about preparing for war. As Kang was escorted from the chamber, he saw his words already appearing on news screens throughout the building. Humans, gods of war? The simple truth he had tried to explain had become something else. A panic. A crisis. Perhaps the end of peace itself. I only wanted to warn them, Kang said quietly to himself as the doors closed behind him. I never expected them to hear it too. 3 days after his speech to the council, Kang sat alone in a small room. Outside his window, Confederate ships moved quickly through space as panic spread. His words had caused a crisis. Many worlds now feared humans. Some wanted to fight them before humans could attack first. Ambassador, an urgent message for you, said a young aide, entering the room. Kang looked at the screen. It was from Earth, from Admiral Tay, leader of Human Defense Forces. Kang expected anger, maybe threats. Instead, he found an invitation. To all Confederate representatives, the message read, "If our warlike nature concerns you, then understand it. We invite you to Earth. Come see how we train, learn what we know. Judge us by our actions, not your fears." The council argued for days. Some thought it was a trap. Others saw a chance for peace. In the end, they agreed to send observers. Kang would lead them. 1 week later, Kang stood with 20 alien representatives at a place humans called West Point Military Academy. Tall gray buildings stood in neat rows. Young humans in matching clothes marched in perfect lines. Admiral Tay met them personally. She was shorter than Kang, expected, with gray hair and calm eyes that had seen many battles. "Welcome to Earth," she said simply. "You fear what we can do. Now we will show you how we do it." For the next month, Kang watched as humans taught aliens about war. But it wasn't what he expected. They didn't teach how to attack or destroy. They taught protection, defense, survival. "Stand here," a human teacher named General Jin told a group of Brill, whose bodies were small and weak. "Use the ground to your advantage. Never fight where you are weakest." To the strong but slow Creel, the humans taught quick movement. To the fast but fragile Nor, they taught how to use cover. Species with natural armor learned to work with those who had good eyes or hearing. "War isn't just about destruction," General Jin explained during one training. "It's about preserving what matters most." At night, Kang wrote reports to the council. "Humans don't want to make us into warriors," he wrote. "They want to teach us to survive if war comes." On the 30th, day alarms sounded across Earth. A fleet of unknown ships had appeared at the edge of Confederate space. 3 worlds had gone silent. "They call themselves the Unity," Admiral Tay told the emergency meeting. "They believe individual thinking is a mistake that must be fixed. They want to absorb all sentient life into their group mind." The council panicked. The Confederacy had no real military. They had never needed one. Now they faced an enemy that didn't want peace or trade. It wanted to end their very way of being. "We will help you," Admiral Tay said simply. "This is what humans do." The next few months were the darkest in Confederate history. The Unity moved quickly, taking world after world. Their ships were like nothing seen before, part machine, part living thing. They didn't talk or negotiate. They simply came and changed everyone they found into more of themselves. But where human ships went, the Unity stopped. Ancient battle plans from Earth's many wars proved useful against this new enemy. The humans used tricks they had learned, fighting each other for thousands of years. Kang found himself on the bridge of the largest human warship, the Peacekeeper. Admiral Tay stood calmly at the center, giving orders as her ships formed a line around the Confederate refugee fleet. "Concentrate fire on the lead ships," she ordered. "Break their formation. They think as one, so make them confused." The battle was terrible but beautiful. Human ships moved with perfect order while Unity ships fell into chaos. When it was over, the largest Unity attack had been stopped. As the refugee ships moved to safety, Admiral Tay came to stand beside Kang at the window. "You were right, you know," she said quietly. "We are the gods of war, but even gods can choose what they fight for." Kang looked at her, seeing not a monster, but a protector. "I didn't understand before," he admitted. 6 months later, with the Unity pushed back to the edge of known space, Kang stood again before the Confederate Council. The room was fuller now. Representatives from worlds that had nearly been lost watched him with new eyes. "I came to you before with a warning about humans," Kang began. "I told you they were the gods of war. I was right, but I was also wrong." He looked around the room, seeing the many species that still lived because humans had fought for them. "I feared humans as gods of war," he said. "I failed to understand that guardians and destroyers use the same skills. The difference lies in what they choose to protect." The council chamber was silent for a moment. Then one by one the representatives stood. The sound of their approval filled the room as a new treaty was brought forward, the start of a true alliance with humanity. Outside the council building, human and alien children played together in the garden. Some of their games looked like battles. But now Kang understood. They were learning to protect each other, not just themselves. The end.